Hello everyone, welcome back to another video in our Matplotlib series. In this video, we're going to talk about improving the multiple plots code from the previous video. So in particular, we're going to talk about how to make this code that we wrote at the end of last video more Pythonic, and in particular, this line here. So this isn't particularly nice, it's a little bit difficult to parse, so how can we make this better? I'm going to show you two methods. The first one is using something called enumerate. So the way it's going to work is I'm going to say for I, comma k, just as an example, in enumerate, and k list, same as for before. So remember, these are the values of k that we're passing to cosine kx, and these were those random values. I think they went 1, 2, 3, 5. All of this was defined in the previous video. But now let's take a look at what this actually does. I'm going to say print, we'll use an f string, the value of I is, then we'll have it print I, and then we'll also have it say the value of k is, well, let's take a look at k. So maybe just so that we're all remembering, let's look at k list as well. So remember, k list goes 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10. What enumerate does is it takes pairs I, comma k. So I is 0, k is 1. So it creates the pair 0, 1. Then I is 1, k is 2. It takes the next value. Then, let's see here. So I 0, I 1. Then I is 2, k is 3. So it's saying, well, what's the 0th element of k list? Well, that's 1. What's the first element? That's 2. What's the second element? That's 3, and so on. So using this idea, how can we improve this code? Well, notice we can do something along the lines of I, k, well, we already have I and k being returned as we'd like, right? So maybe I'll just show you what I mean. I'm going to copy paste this code. And now instead of having range length k list, I'm going to replace this with enumerate k list. And then we already have k being recorded, so I can remove this portion. And then we're defining a x-axis, and then f and y stay the same, and we can plot everything. So this was a pretty simple solution. It's a little bit cleaner to read. It's basically creating pairs that iterate through k-list. So that was one method. I told you I was going to show you a different method. So the second method is going to be using something called zip. So this is an even more Pythonic way of doing this, and I'm going to start by showing you an example that will help us figure out how to apply it to our problem. So let's say I have a list and it's 7, 10, 2. Numbers don't matter. I could say B list. Let's have it be 3, 4, 5. So I have those lists defined. Now what I can do is I can say for A, comma B, and I'm going to zip these two lists together. So A list, comma B list. I'm going to have it print A, comma B. So remember, A is coming from A list. B is coming from B list. And we can see here, we get 7, 7, then 3, then 10, then 4, then 2, then 5. So let's take a look and see, well, what type of object is this? So I'm going to copy paste this into type. And we can see here, well, it's saying zip. Then we could say, okay, well, let's take a look. Like, what happens if I convert this to a list? So we can see here, this looks like tuples 7, 3, 10, 4, 2, 5, etc. So for instance, if I look at the 0th entry, let's do that here. So it looks like a tuple. Let's double check. Again, yep, it's a tuple. So what is zip doing? It's lining up A list and B list, and then it's creating these tuple pairs where the first element comes from A, second element comes from B. So using this idea, here's how we could update our code. So again, I'm going to copy paste. And now, how about instead we have for k, comma ax in, now let's zip together. So we want k list and axs underscore flat. Now notice I already have ax defined because it's saying ax here is coming from enumerating through this zip. So I can remove this And let's see, f can stay the same, y can stay the same. Let's plot this and take a look. And exactly what we'd expect. So again, just a more Pythonic way of producing the same output. In the next video, we'll finally talk about how to make these plots look more modern and kind of customize them in a way that you'd like. Otherwise, I'll end the video here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.